Hi, I'm Mike Massimino,
I'm Don Pettit.
and welcome to the
InsideISS Mailbag.
Mailbag. This is a little bit different than what we normally do.
Yeah,
Don.
but this is a cloud mailbag.
We put out on my Twitter just a couple hours ago a request for questions, and
Have you gotten any?
Right, I'm Astro_Mike. I have lots of followers, or a lot of cool people, and they sent me back these questions.
Okay, let's do some questions.
So that's why we're calling this the Mailbag.
The mailbag, right.
All right, so this is the first one. Comes from Benny, at RD Benny. You know who you are. All right. How thick are the walls of each module?
Oh, they're 1/10 of an inch.
Are you serious?
Serious.
That's it?
That's it.
All right, but they're multi-layered, right?
Well,
'Cause they
no,
have
no.
to- what are
The
we talking
the pressure hole itself, the thing that actually protects you by keeping your atmosphere in, it's about 1/10 of an inch thick.
That's not very thick.
It's not very thick.
So how do we avoid a hole when we get?
well-
I thought it was thicker than that. Isn't there different layers to it, or?
Well, the outer layers are the micrometeorite shielding and
That's
the
what I'm
multi-layer
talking
insulation
about.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
So how much is that? When I ask you how thick your walls are in your house, you tell me the paint layer. No, you got to go sheetrock and insulation.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of
yeah.
thing.
Oh, okay, so
All right.
the paint layer
There
is,
we
they've
go.
got this really awful green paint on the inside.
Uh-huh.
It's an anti-corrosion aircraft kind
Yeah,
of thing
right,
for
right.
aluminum prep,
Yeah.
right? And then you got 1/10 of an inch of aluminum.
Right.
And then there's some
That's important because that's your pressure layer.
that's your pressure layer.
the
That's
thing,
what keeps you alive.
Yeah, that's
And
important.
then they've machined this waffle pattern in. So you have little ridges that are left. It almost looks like a waffle. I guess that's why they call it the waffle pattern, right? And that adds
It's like
extra
a Waffle House, the space station.
Yeah.
It's the Waffle House.
And that adds rigidity to the structure, and that's the pressure vessel.
All right, so now the actual aluminum on the inside, you're saying was 1/10 of an inch paint, and then this thing must stand out at like 1/4 of an inch or so.
Yeah, the little ridges of the waffle pattern could stand out maybe 3/8 to 1/4 of an inch.
Okay, and then what do we got after that?
After that, you have all kinds of widgets and pieces of equipment that are bolted onto the outside.
Right.
And you may have a thickness of standoff about like so.
Right.
And then maybe you'll have some fabric over the top
Right.
of that, which is a thermal barrier.
Right.
And then you'll have this sheet metal, sheet
On the
aluminum
outside.
on the outside, and that makes the micrometeorite barricade.
Right, so and then on top of that has like stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
You know, it says
Yeah.
NASA on it.
Yeah.
I guess it's not really stickers or.
Yeah, or it
painted on
says,
somehow. A European
you know,
Space Agency.
don't step here.
Yeah, don't step here, and it was labeling and
Yeah.
directions and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you took it from the inside wall, where you're like, bang, I'm gonna hit my head, and the outside wall that's exposed to the vacuum, you've got what about a foot or so? 12 inches?
Yeah, 12 inches.
All right.
It depends. It depends on.
But out of all that, it's interesting. 1/10 of an inch aluminum is what keeps
Yeah.
it. So if a micrometeorite comes in, it's got to penetrate about a foot until it gets to the pressure barrier on the inside. And there you have it. All right, this is from Darren Franzen. This is more of a, kind of like your experiences kind of thing, Don.
Okay.
For both of us. Tell us about something completely unexpected that you learned or experienced in space.
Oh.
Completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I found out that you can gargle in space. I didn't think you'd be able to gargle in space because, how could, you have gravity. It
Right.
keeps the gargle in your throat. You go,
Yeah, next thing you know, you got a
yeah,
problem.
but it turns out surface tension, wetting, contact forces, these things can keep whatever you're gargling in the back of your throat. You could still gargle when you're in space. I actually made a video of that.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So, go ahead.
And so
Well, for me, the thing that I think was most unexpected when I was in orbit, my first flight, we were able to get email in space, and I found out my wife really was looking for a new house, and that's what she said. I think we should upgrade our house, and that's when I found out about it. Was completely unexpected, and of course because I was in space and I was happy, I agreed to this. So we ended up looking for a new home when I got back. So what I tell all the spouses of astronauts are, if there's something you've been telling your astronaut wife or husband that you want to go on a vacation or you need whatever.
So this was planned. This was unexpected from her.
Unexpected from me. I had no idea.
Right, but she had planned.
I don't know if she planned it or not, but she asked me at the right time because I was agreeable to just about anything.
Okay.
So when you want to strike when if kids ask your parents for something when they're happy, and they're liable to say yes. So that was the unexpected thing for me. As far as like real space stuff. That was unexpected. You talked about gargling. I found out I couldn't whistle when I was doing a spacewalk. Did you ever try that?
Oh yeah, you can't whistle. The pressure is too low.
Yeah, you can't whistle, and you can't whistle while you work when you're doing a spacewalk. Yeah,
you can't.
You don't have enough pressure. When you whistle, you're vibrating the air molecules right outside your mouth,
making it turbulent.
Yeah, and that's what causes.
And you
the
can't
sound.
make the turbulence.
That's it. You can't.
It's
that's
too
what
low
the sound
pressure.
Is, right.
Yeah.
So I like whistling while I work on the ground, but I found out I couldn't do that in space. So you found out. You can
gargle.
And I found out that I couldn't whistle. Okay, this one comes from Anger Monkey.
Anger Monkey.
It looks like a very nice person here, but the name is Anger Monkey.
Okay.
Do you get much real downtime, or is every day tightly scheduled to get all the science and maintenance stuff done?
Okay, well, we're scheduled for 12 hours a day, and we typically take 13 and a half to get the 12 hours of scheduled stuff done, and then outside of that, you're off duty.
Okay, so now you're off duty. If you look at your day, like I know there's 8. So far on shuttle, we had 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Right, and then there was I think like an hour and a half or so on each end of that, or 2 hours of pre-sleep and post-sleep.
Yeah.
Which gave you like 12 hours of 8 hours sleep, and then 12. So then it was a 12-hour day. So what are you saying on station for you? Does that include that 12 hours of downtime? Does that include your pre-sleep and post-sleep time?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's just, and they can label it whatever they want, but it's basically you work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You typically don't get everything done till around 8 p.m. and you don't have to be on call till 7 a.m. the next day, unless you have a malfunction or something, a fire alarm or whatever, and then you get up in the middle of the night.
So on space shuttle flights, we would get like off-duty time. We didn't get much off-duty time because on Hubble we did 5 spacewalks in a row each day, and we had a rendezvous a couple days before, a day before, and then so there really wasn't much going on. But we did get off-duty time at certain times. So at the end of the mission, we get blocks of a few hours where you could take pictures and relax.
Yeah,
and
station they don't give you off-duty time during the working day.
Hang on a second, Bob Cratchit. What about those weekends? Don't you get your weekends off?
Yes and no. We are scheduled for about 6 hours worth of work on Saturday.
On Saturday, okay.
And then maybe there's always something that spills over on Sunday. So you'll get call it one good day off on a weekend if something doesn't come up and take your time away. And we had something come up every weekend for a month in a row. Something came up and we didn't get a chance to have an off-duty day.
You don't get paid any overtime, do you?
Oh, we get $3 a day.
That's
extra.
not overtime.
That's not overtime.
That's only incidentals. You get that whether or not.
Yeah.
That's okay. So if you wake, so in other words, how much time then? You had 8 hours of a sleep period, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what they put on the books.
Let's put on the books. You had 8 hours of a sleep period. And then you had and then you had how many hours on pre-sleep and post-sleep on either end?
Well, I just like to look at it. We're off by 8 p.m. We're on by 7 a.m. and you could do whatever you want.
You had plenty of time for relaxing, I would say. Out of that. And more time on the weekends.
More time on the weekends.
You are very tightly scheduled, but you also have some time, usually before bed. And
you
after
do.
you wake up, but mainly before bedtime was your time probably to relax before you went to sleep.
Okay, next question.
All right. This is a pretty interesting one. This is from James Moore. He asks, how often do astronauts take advantage of a partially emptied ATV, Progress, Dragon, MPLM, etc., as a place to get away and sleep? Like if you wanted to go on vacation on the space station.
You go on a camping trip, right?
Hey, I got to go somewhere. I need a break.
So you could sleep in the belly of the Dragon.
Yeah, is that what did you ever do anything like that?
I didn't sleep in the belly of the Dragon. I actually thought about doing it, but I figured it might rain or something.
So you so if you needed a quiet place to go to,
you could
on
go.
station.
You could go to. There's a number of places you could go, but certainly going into ATV or going into the Dragon. Those were the two vehicles we had, or even going into a Progress. Is certainly a way to get away from it all if you
And you've done that from
Yeah,
time to time?
yeah.
To get some peace and quiet?
Well, station is so big, you can go all day working your normal job and hardly see anybody.
Right, so that's not
So
really an issue.
you really don't need to go and get an escape. But if you want to go someplace particular, you could do that. The PMM is another place. It's our closet. You can go there and
That's like an MPLM that was converted,
Yeah,
right, for
yeah,
long-term
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so you didn't really have that on the shuttle.
yeah, you
There
were.
wasn't really
yeah.
a way to get away, because it was a smaller area and 6 or 7 people climbing around
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
floating around in there. So you could try to go in the airlock and hang out with the spacesuits or something, but
Yeah.
you didn't quite have that. So, all right, good question.